Well, the sad truth about technology is that as our devices get slimmer and thinner, lighter, so does our convenience. In the past, our personal computers and laptops had all sorts of ports, and we could connect our internet, HDMI monitors, keyboards, and mouse directly into the device itself. But like we said, the devices are getting thinner, so are the ports getting fewer. And that brings us to the life of docking stations. Now, in 2025, Thunderbolt docking stations are ever so increasing in Amazon, eBay, everywhere you look. Famous companies are getting more into the docking station because, like we said, we are sacrificing convenience ports for size and portability. And this video is going to be a mix of emotions where I really love the idea of docking stations and having a docking area for my MacBook Pro, as you see back there, but the reality is it's not that simple. And so in this video, I just want to talk about the pros and the cons of using a docking station and how I'm still in the hunt for a really good, reliable docking station. If you guys know already the answer, please, I would love to hear your solutions for docking stations in the comment section down below. So please feel free to leave all your comments, suggestions, or if you have any questions, I would love to get back to you as soon as I can. But without further ado, let's talk about the pros and cons. So let's start out with the pros. So the pros is that yes, like we said in the intro, you're able to plug everything up, have everything ready. So when you bring your computer in or your laptop and you just use one port and everything connects and is ready to go. For example, in my case, I got my monitor, Ethernet, external hard drives, my audio, and my mirrorless camera, as well as SD cards, and also my tablet as I use it for an external monitor. That's the pros. But again, this is just in quotation theory because now we're going to get into the cons and the reality of using these expensive docking stations. Here I got the Wavelink Thunderbolt docking station, and this one is a pretty expensive one. It ran me over $200, I believe it was. Unfortunately, it did not live up to its name. I don't know why some YouTubers recommended this because in the long run, this is gonna act up. And looking at the Amazon reviews, there are people complaining that Ethernet disconnects, their monitor disconnects, and some other USB connected hard drives disconnect. And personally, that has been my experience. Now, this particular dock has a lot of connections. It has about, I believe, 10 different things that you can connect. And on my experience with this one, it has been terrible. You have to pick what you want to connect it. I once had all the USB 3 connected with external hard drives. I had a 4K monitor with 60 hertz. We had the Ethernet connected, and just that alone just made the Wavelink crash. Well, it doesn't crash, it just constantly disconnected the external hard drives. I actually corrupted one of the hard drives, so I stopped connecting my important data there. I basically had to pick my poison. Either I connect the monitor directly to the MacBook Pro through the HDMI, or I disconnected the Ethernet and just rely on Wi-Fi. Now that's a compromise that I can live with. Yes, I can do it. My Wi-Fi is fast enough to be able to stream meetings, but it's not really ideal because I want stable connection, so I'd rather have the Ethernet connected. So it's just a little inconvenience and a little unfortunate that this docking station is not living up to its name. So that's a real disappointment. And I was so disappointed that I went out and bought another alternative. Now this one I caught on sale, and it was actually about $40, including shipping, so it was too cheap, and I knew it was not gonna work well. But I figure, how can it be worse than Wavelink, which is not doing anything that I wanted to do? And on top of that, actually, one of the cons of these are the external power supplies. Now, these things can get beefy. The power supply for the Wavelink is actually bigger than the actual docking station, and I'm not exaggerating. That's why this huge case is basically for the power supply. Now this one on the other hand does not. It doesn't have a power supply, so you have to provide the power yourself. I did purchase an Anker 100 watt charging USB charger, and I used just a USB 4 Thunderbolt cable connected directly into the docking station, therefore providing power to be able to run all my drives, Ethernet, and the HDMI, and be able to power up my computer as well with fast charging. Now, as you can see, a lot of the ports are empty, and the reason is the same thing with the wavelength. When I had everything plugged up, hard drives will disconnect, Ethernet will stop working and freeze up, and my monitor also will just all of a sudden turn black. And even though my MacBook sees there's an external monitor, my monitor is completely black. It's just disconnected. So I'm still stuck with just having to choose what I want to connect, so that way I can get good enough connection to have Ethernet monitor. That's about it. Pretty much in this docking station, I only have my camera, my speakers, a USB that powers my laptop because I use my iPad as an external monitor often. But regardless, I need that connection to have stable connection between the MacBook Pro and the iPad. Of course, we could do that wirelessly, but it's not stable. It disconnects at time. But why am I having to settle down with not using the full potential of what these docking stations are claiming to do, but I'm not able to do it? So that is some of the huge cons you're gonna get going with a docking station. If anybody out there knows of a good solution, please hit me up in the comment section below. I would love to know. But other than that, that would be really awesome if we could just take my MacBook, put it in, and just plug it in with one cable and have everything set up and running. That would be ideal and awesome. But the sad truth is, it's not. But guys, in the end, I ended up keeping the NQ because it was the most reliable. Actually, I don't know how a $40 docking station is more reliable than a $200 or $300 one. Right now, it is working sort of stable with the monitor and the Ethernet, but again, I only have like 2 USB things connected to the docking station. I'm not able to use it with more because other than that, I will have to unplug the Ethernet cable. If I don't have a lot of USB stuff connected, I'm able to use the Ethernet and monitor. So for now, as long as I can get the camera, Ethernet, and monitor connected at the same time through one cable, yeah, it will have to do. Now the MMV drives are connected directly to the MacBook because anyway, I have to take those with me if I go out. That is just, if you guys wanna check it out in Amazon, I'm gonna have affiliate links in the description down below. I really appreciate your guys taking your time to hearing me talk about these docking solutions that we have in our life. Again, I want to thank you guys for always taking your time to watch the videos. Now, if you do have any suggestions, any recommendations, I am all ears. I would love to hear your suggestions. And who knows, I might take a look in the future if there is a Prime Day sale or something like that. I would love to check it out. And yeah, what's your experience with docking stations? Do you guys use them or not? Let me know in the comment section down below. Yeah, that's about it. So all that's next to do is just hope to see you guys on the next video. Until then, happy shootings. See you next time.